the souvenir shops that I keep my stuff in requested for some more swordfish and marlin. And I've made some, but they're really big, much too big to put in a suitcase. So those are still at the store, but people wanted to take them home with them in their suitcases. So I'm going to make some that are suitcase size. So I'm going to take you along in the process of how I make them. So first thing I use is a black marker so I can draw it out. Next thing is I bought this big piece of sheet metal, and it's 30 gauge, so it's fairly thin and pliable. So I'm going to unroll this and I'm going to draw my fish. It's so nice just to look out the back and see all these horses. You know, being a city girl, what a treat. I could just spend hours watching animals. So I've drawn out all my marlin and my sailfish, and in between the spaces I put pineapples and little tiny minnow fish. So the next step is to cut them all out. So I have to go use a plasma cutter, and I will show you how I do that now. I'll be right back. So this is what it looks like when they're all drawn out. I'm cutting with a plasma cutter and a compressor and a welding machine. It's a TIG machine. This is the last, I had a big sheet of metal here, and this is the last piece I'm going to cut. So I'm just going to quickly show you. We have our grounder right here, and it's a really easy process. Show you. Cuts like butter. Give you this one here. I just came back from cutting the metal and my water got turned off because I didn't pay my bills. So I just went and paid my bills, but I still won't have water at my house, and I'm totally dirty. I have dirt on my face and I can't wash. So while I'm dirty, I'm gonna come by my neighbors. The storm took down my neighbor's tree. So it was a huge mango tree and it had all these mangoes on it. So I want to see if I can grab some mangoes because they're all at eye level. There's mangoes everywhere. Machetes and mangoes everywhere. Look at this beautiful tree coming down. Nature decides when it goes. And last night was the night. We have a very important component of this cleanup, and that is the chainsaw. And we have somebody diligently working away at the chainsaw to make this thing happen. It takes one evening of rain and hours of help from your neighbors. There's nothing you can't do with a little help from your friends. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Mangoes for everyone! So then once they're all cut out, I make a little dip in them, kind of like that. Gives them a little bit of support. And then I continue to forge them with a hammer and a piece of rebar, a little bit like this. Hey, hey! How you doing?
Fabulously, how are you?
Good. So we got a little forging here. A little more pounding here. So basically, it's got a little bit of shape now, a little bit of sturdiness, and I gotta do the rest. Then I take pliers and I just enforce those bends and really get shape into this fish. Bring the corners right in. Can you hear the macaws in the background? is I have to figure out a way to have them hanging. I also like the smaller ones to be able to be magnets. So I'm just going to take this 2-part epoxy, they call it epoxy pole here, and mix some epoxy and stick these on and stick the magnets on. We have to deal with the very large ones, which I use a different way. 2 equal parts of epoxy. I gloop a lot on. X marks the spot. And I use a little bit of expensive Golin acrylic just to get this shimmer on this guy.
This is not a drill.
Oops. Well, I've been painting a lot, and I'm finally finished these fish, so I'm gonna show you. I've just been sort of painting everything. After this, I need to get back to my canvas, so I'm gonna show you these fish. I really have been painting too much. Like, way too much. In fact, this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. It looks more like I have a black eye. So by the looks of this, you'd think like she's a really bad painter. She can't do makeup at all. And that might be true. It's been a long time since I was doing my makeup. But I just want to show you I use this palette. Now this palette cost me $2 at a children's accessory store. I kind of have this unicorn SJW Jenny McDermott look. But you know what? You spend $2 on makeup, you get $2 worth of makeup. I always used to buy cheap makeup, and I thought, why would I buy expensive makeup? It does the same thing. No, it doesn't. This is a very old Bobbi Brown, and this palette costs probably about $150, $120. Somebody gave it to me. I thought, why are you giving me makeup? Like, I don't know Bobbi Brown. I don't care about Bobbi Brown. But then I tried the Bobbi Brown, and wearing real makeup is completely different than this shit. The colors are fun, the quality sucks, and you end up looking like somebody with 2 black eyes. Georgia still hasn't come to pick up these fish, and I'm going to call her now. Hopefully she'll get them in the morning. And I have started a new horrible job, so that's good. and bad. We'll see what happens. I need to start to think about my trip back to Toronto. Also, this camera is no longer working, so I have to wait for about a week to get a new camera. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pick up the video from this, and if I am, that's wonderful because then I can publish an ending to my fish video. So that's the end. I cut them out of metal, I paint them, I shellac them, and they're ready for sale with a little information on the back. See you next time.